I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. Sumimasen. I was just... You really apologize a lot, don't you? I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Oh shit, welcome to Canada, right? Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. That was a good power play, bro. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess it makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yeah, we get the first... Look at us nerds. I do the same with my right arm. Yeah, so we're holding the book. That way, I turn a page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to the side. Holding it like this, we're held even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face. She's in a corner of my vision. Are you ready? It's good that the eyes move subtly. Let's turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. It's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels almost like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side. She catches it with her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Do you think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all of the things she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong, like kill people. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms, like killing people. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But, Ike, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. It's so embarrassing that you think that. Oh, wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. I didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I meant more that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Also, that expression is kind of weird, so... So many red flags. I think, okay, now are the poems. I guess it's fair, though, because I've already shown an interest in her. But would she have given me the book anyway? That's the real question. Or has fate been inexorably altered by my word choice? My own conscious will has rewritten the world around me and made certain girls like me more. It is very warm. And... yeah, it's getting dark. It's time. So, some of you might be wondering, how am I surviving in this immense heat? Well, I have behind me a secret weapon. I took a bucket, and then I filled it with some cold water, and then I put an ice pack in it. And now I'm just going to stick my foot in it and hope that the frostbite doesn't set in before I'm suitably cool. Because that's how blood works. It circulates your heat. You just gotta... Oh, this counts as an ice bucket challenge, right? Of course, the point of the ice bucket challenge is that you then donate to charity, so I don't have any money. So I guess it doesn't count as an ice bucket challenge, is what I'm saying. I answered my own question. Wait, did this automatically progress? Hold up, history. Yuri exhales, spared from having to finish her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not... Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm in frame. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I'll make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Fuck yeah! Why am I all shy about this? I did it! I wrote the stupid poem! I couldn't really find much inspiration, so I've never really done this before. Now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? Can't wait! Sayori and it's also interesting that Sayori is a path. I assume that the childhood friend was automatically vetoed in all of these situations. So... But there's no way she's stabby. I would have figured out if she were... Well, then again, this guy's an idiot. This guy's really unobservant, so maybe not. But I feel like if I get the Sayori path, it's going to end in tears because someone else will murder her. That's not what I'm after. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monika wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monika's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Oh geez, I should show it to the girl that I've been hitting on this entire time. But, is that weird if I close back in? Is there like a real sociology thing? If it's first, I'm gonna save. Yeah, I'll overwrite that save, and now let's see if that I get a chance to show them all. Let's show Monika she's the leader. I should start with Monika. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I wanted to know I'm putting in an effort. Hey, Kay. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm just much better off going with the flow until I'm more settled in. If only I weren't a complete coward. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, AK. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I handed Monika my poem. Great job! I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easier for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism? Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's really challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. I have no inflection for him for this scene. He's just being a guy. He's just a dude. His element is dude. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Oh! You will know, again, I noticed that she is not one of the sticker chibis, so I assume that coming to her first is not a problem. Did you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident somebody claims not being very good. That's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. Oh god, these are going to be huge clues. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. What the... What happened? This is something bad. Something really bad happened. And it's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. What happened when you were a child, and are you... Did Yuri kill your family or some shit? No, I imagine somebody else, and now she kills other people's families. That's how these things work, right? A lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? No, legitimately. I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany root. It's been influencing my poems a bit. Whoops. You know what? That breaks it. I'm just gonna lean out. You don't have to witness it. I'm in peak physical condition for a man of 70. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem, or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. That's actually a real writing tip. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So, move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. What a fucking weirdo. Yuri! 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 As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Eh? What was that? She loves it. Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Oh, she's the shyest. He's gonna hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. I know that. I just meant, Stop being good, nerd. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to speak a writing style different from the topic matter, separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building on them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. That's okay to be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. I'm such a bitch. To me, you're just not Suki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Oh, man. Like, she's gotta be a red herring. She's so uncomfortable. She can't possibly actually be a maniac, right? The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time must be replaced by a sickening green light of the future. Well, she really likes old lanterns. That's what I've inferred from this. And nothing else. It didn't seem murdery though, so that's actually a nice change of pace. I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it was short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Oh yeah, I guess I should have read that out loud. Dang. The problem is that I haven't fully escaped the limits of human ego, so it'd be embarrassing to read that out loud and to wholly commit to the voices even though I know I can't do them. So, I'm just a weak mortal doing his best to get stronger. which would be an excellent thing for an anime character to say, but is embarrassing in real life.
Since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild.
More mild is also a red flag. Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, like it.
It was called Ghost, right? I must have totally missed the point. I suppose... Oh, I get it. The lantern was like a ghost because its culture is kind of dead.
But remember that poets often express works in their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah. I like how I don't get to literally see what I've written. I just picked keywords and sort of slammed them in there. I guess it's hard to make, like, a decent plot poem. Why force yourself to figure out this RNG thing and then pretend it's good in the context of the story? If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all of this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, AK.
Me too. Yes.